Yeah, so we're going back to Richard a little bit later on, of course, as the Rugby World Cup starts today on ITV.
Yeah.
I think about 10:25 the coverage will begin.
Yeah, well done.
So that's going to be
it to us.
That watching Richard go through his experience on Neighbours was a gruelling experience. But talking of proper challenges, how about 54 hours in the water that Sarah Thomas swam into the record books earlier this week? The first person ever to swim the Channel, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times non-stop.
I mean, ridiculously difficult. After swimming 215 kilometres, Sarah, who had treatment for breast cancer last year, dedicated her swim to all the survivors out there. And I'm thrilled to say that she joins us live from Dover. Good morning to you. My goodness, I'm amazed that you want to get close enough to the water there. I would have thought you'd have had enough of it by now. How are you doing? Because I know one of the biggest problems when you finished was the salt water had really, really affected your voice and throat.
Yes, it really has. It's been better in the last couple of days, but it's still a little painful.
You know, obviously, Sarah, lots of people swim the Channel because it's an extraordinary stretch of water and it's a very, very serious challenge. Nobody ever has swum it 4 times. Just one question, why?
Because I'm a little bit crazy, I think.
But in terms of a challenge, you're a long-distance swimmer and you've really got into your open water swimming. How seriously difficult was this? We've just been watching on Channel 4 over here a group of celebrities trying to swim it once on Sink or Swim, and they didn't get to the other side because the weather became so bad and the water became so choppy. How hard was it for you? How far did you want to swim and how far did you end up actually swimming?
It was a pretty hard swim. You know, I anticipated that it would be really rough, and we knew that the currents and tides would push us all over. We got really lucky with the weather in that it held really steady for us. The last lap, the currents pushed us way far out of where we were expecting to go. So if you swim it straight, point to point, it is an 84-mile swim. But I think with the currents and the tides pushing us, I think we ended up closer to 130, which is about what we expected, other than the last lap.
I mean, it is extraordinary what you went through. Talk us through the process then. First of all, you are swimming non-stop, so that means no sleep. How do you get yourself ready for even just that, apart from anything else?
Yeah, the not sleeping part is really, really hard because you do need to stay really focused when you're in the water so that you're, swimming next to the boat and paying attention to what your crew is telling you. And it takes some practice, and it takes just being really strong in your mind. And if I found myself kind of drifting or feeling like I wanted to take a nap, my team did have a little bit of caffeine on the boat so that they could toss me a little pick-me-up to kind of perk me up and get me focused again.
What about the more practical things as well, Sarah, in terms of eating and relieving yourself, if I can be that indelicate at this time of the hour? Because, of course, that's at 54 hours. There must have been periods when you were uncomfortable.
Yes, for sure. So for eating, we just have a water bottle tied to a rope, and most of my calories come from just a carbohydrate mix that I use. And so, I get my liquids and my calories all in one place, so it's pretty quick and easy that way. And then I have just learned to be really efficient about peeing while I swim.
Okay, that's put very nicely. So what now then? I imagine since you finished, you've mainly been sleeping and resting. Is that it? Are you done? Or is there something in your mind that makes you think I want to do more?
There's no plans for anything just yet. This has been such a big swim on the horizon for so many years now. I do need a little bit of a mental break, I think, but if I know myself, there will be some other big challenge that I'll come up with here pretty soon.
So we're just watching footage of you finishing. You literally crawled out of the water. And I know that you said that last sort of grueling stretch, you didn't feel like you were getting to the beach. What was that like when eventually you knew you were done and it was over? What was that moment like?
It was a little bit surreal. We had been swimming toward shore, it felt like forever through the night, and kind of in the dark and with your swim goggles on, there's no depth perception or perspective as to where you're at. And my crew just kept telling me, you're close, and I kind of quit believing them. And so when I finally saw the shore come up underneath me, I almost didn't believe it. I was like, did I make it? Am I really here? I had no idea where we had landed, so I was just like confused and out of it, and just really happy to be sitting on the ground and not moving anymore.
I bet. Well, it's an extraordinary achievement. You've done it. No one can ever take that away. What were some of the brilliant things about doing it? Was there anything that you sort of discovered about yourself or about just being in that water that was positive as well as all the challenges?
This swim took a lot out of me mentally. Physically, I felt really strong, and I was really comfortable in the water. The cold wasn't an issue. The salt water messed up my mouth, but it was what I was expecting. So, physically, there was nothing really out of the ordinary, but mentally, I just really had to push through some demons. With all my cancer treatment, there was some self-doubt where I didn't necessarily believe that I had what it took anymore. There were a couple of points during the swim where I told my team that, I thought I was done and I didn't have what it would take to make it, back again. And, I really just had to dig super deep and believe in myself and listen to my team who was encouraging me and, telling me that I could do it, just to keep going. And, there were some really dark moments where I thought I was going to quit. So, yeah, there was some good learning experiences that even, in the darkest of times, there's still a chance that you can achieve good things if you just believe in yourself.
Unquestionably, and as that sun comes up behind you in Dover, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. You have achieved something remarkable. No one on the globe has ever done what you have done, and that will stay with you forever. You are just an extraordinary person, Sarah. We'll just take our hat off to you and what you've managed to achieve. Congratulations. And maybe stay on dry land for a bit, eh?
Yeah, maybe just go back to bed.
Yeah.
I feel like you've earned it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, quite right. Thank you so much for getting up to talk to us this morning. You're
Really
amazing.
lovely to meet you. Just watching Sarah come out of the water there, you just see what a struggle that must have been.
I know, because we saw it live as it was happening, and I just so felt for her. All of that time that she'd swum, and then you get to the end and you just see her literally drag herself out of the water, and then they hand her this glass of champagne, which is probably the last thing she wanted at that moment. But you
Having all that salt in her throat.
you want to toast something, don't
Presumably
you?
they can't even help her out at that point.
She's got to get out.
Clear the water.
And you can only swim in a swimming costume as well. You can't swim in a wetsuit.
No,
I assume
that's
because of the
right.
buoyancy. That's why she's covered in the, I guess it's the fat to keep her warm.
Would have to be a pebble beach as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
For that
that's
extra bit of
sand.
agony to drag yourself across rather than a nice sandy one. Oh, my
Amazing.
goodness. Talking of